If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free app, Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Happy New Year, fam. I know it's been a while, but guess what? We have some really amazing goodies for you to kick off in 2023. And I hope everybody's starting off with a blast because we've been in such interesting places within the past year or so. So I'm looking forward for all the fams here to let's just press forward and as I say, live your purpose, which is always important. Now, I want to say that we have a new home, which is Doc Entertainment, so I'm really excited about that. So great stuff. And today we have a special guest and a friend to the show, American rapper, singer, songwriter, and extraordinaire artist. My brother and friend to the show, Matt U Johnson. How you doing, Matthew?
What's going on, John?
It's doing good, man. I know, like I said, you've been a busy guy doing a lot of things, and I'm so excited to have you on the show. But Happy New Year to you and your family. And before we jump into this, I want to say congratulations on your upcoming EP, Live It Up. I had a chance to listen to a snippet of what you've been posting on social media, and I love the groove. So I can't wait for it to come out and say much kudos on that, Matt.
Thank you, man. It's the first single off the EP, and it's called Live It Up. And the EP is this is exclusive for you. The EP is going to be called the Outset EP because it's like a new era, a new beginning for me and my team. I got new management, new production, new producer, and what have you. And a Happy New Year to everybody here, you know what I'm saying? And one love to you and the family here on the podcast.
All right.
And it's been a great, this journey started late last year. I would say probably around November. So it started from the 2022 season into 2023. So it's half season, you know what I mean?
Okay, great. Again, like I said, I'm really excited to hear about this. And like I always do with all my guests, we always like to do like a deep dive into their story. And I will have to say, you've had a very fascinating career in the music business. And I would like you to enlighten our fans, our global fans, about your story. So you have the platform, and I'm going to ride shotgun here.
Awesome, man. Well, my humble story started in the city of New York City, the Big Apple.
All right.
And that's where, my story began. I'm from Staten Island originally, the fifth borough of Staten Island, New York City.
I'm a Brooklyn kid, brother. I'm Brooklyn.
Yeah, bro, you're right across the bridge of Arizona. So, I'm from Staten Island, New York City originally. Grew up, born and raised in New York City. That's where I started to own my craft for music, for singing, songwriting, and performing. I was brought up in a Caribbean American family, me and my dad being African American, my mom being from Jamaica. And that brought my sound together because I was raised with the love for pop R&B, but also the love for reggae, dancehall, and roots music. Okay. So that's where the people that know me or who are about to get to know me on this podcast, they'll see, okay, he's doing a little Caribbean sound. You know what I mean? But that's where it started. I went to music school there, Dr. Trogan's, on Victory Boulevard in Staten Island. And then from there, I went to LIU as a music major. I started my journey as a professional musician with B. Montgomery. She was my first manager in Manhattan. And she worked with the likes of Busy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, a lot of the old school funk bands, just a lot of things, a lot of people on like M&N Network, because I did a lot of community cable shows at my very start, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing
gotta get your feet wet. All right, I hear you.
Yeah, man. I was doing those singing competitions, those singing shows just to get exposure. But I eventually got her as a manager, and she put me on platforms in Manhattan, in Chelsea. And that's where my craft for performance kind of was put together, and that's when I started owning my craft there, opening up for people like Busy Bone and all those people down there at the clubs down there in Chelsea, you know, and in Midtown as well. And I was also at the Sugar Bar with Ashford and Simpson. I got to sing with them. Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, I met Nick Ashford there, and I also started hanging out with Star Search winner Vicky Natali, and
Okay.
she was around. Yeah, and I was, you know, I was on the Apollo. I knew Kathy Sharpton. I used to go to the National Action Network and stuff, and sing there as well. So, you know, I went through it, man. It was a journey, bro. And then, yeah, but B Montgomery was there, and my parents actually like helped me to further my craft by sending me to music school, and I got a partial scholarship to LIU. And there I met a lot of other musicians and a lot of other people from Collateral Entertainment. They had a lot of other rappers, R&B singers on that too, and I would do like collabs with them.
Okay.
So that's where a lot of that happened. And then eventually I went overseas to London, England, and Canada, and Toronto, and it's just a long story, but that brings me to where I am at now, because now I got to feature with a lot of legends like Choclair, which is a Canadian hip hop icon,
Okay.
Cedo Rocks, Karl Wolf, who's a
Yes.
Canadian Lebanese, and
I heard that.
Snoop Dogg.
Yes. Yes, I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
very. Yeah, you've had it very interesting. And just to drop a little nugget, I did meet Ashford and Simpson as well. Nick was amazing. Valley, I mean, totally like really down to earth. Sugar Bar was the spot, you know, because I used to
yeah.
go that. That was the spot, man. So,
You know what? My father took me there, bro. I didn't even know about it. He's like, Matt, you need to go there. I used to chill with my friend Greca Man that was in 67 Mob. It was like our hip hop group, and he lived not too far from there. But my dad was like, "Oh, you got to go down there, man. There's a lot of industry folks there."
yeah,
And I
man.
used to go there and sing "No Woman, No Cry," man. I was the
Oh,
only guy
there you
singing
go.
pop bars,
There you
and there was
go.
all R&B people
Uh,
in there.
uh,
So Kathy
nice.
Sharpton was there, you know, Al's ex-wife, Valerie Simpson. You know, she would sing the background because they used to have like open
Oh,
mics.
that's right.
Yeah, and I would be the only one singing that song, so I
That's
know, you know,
right. Did you hit
rest
those?
in
Right. Did you hit those chicken wings, man?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I'm kind of like calmed down on the fried food and stuff
Yeah.
now. I'm on my prep food. You know what I mean? My
Okay.
prep meals and my
I got
workout stuff.
you.
But yeah, man, we're good, man.
Good, good. You know, and I do hear it in your music, and I was going to ask you that, but you touched upon it, that the strong Caribbean vibe, which I definitely like, and I wanted you to share with the fams, you know, how did the whole Karl Wolf thing and Snoop Dogg came on Pond Fire?
Well, I mean, that was a long story, bro. Like I was saying before, my career took me overseas to England and then eventually to Toronto, Canada, and London, Ontario, Canada, right?
Hmm.
So I was running the circuit there, and eventually I got to meet up with people like Choclair, who Carl had his first single with as well, and Master T, the legend that he's like a VJ, I guess, that, you know,
Hmm.
he interviewed, he was the last person to interview Tupac,
Okay.
and he also interviewed like Lauryn Hill. But to make a long story short, all those people up there are in the same circle. So I actually met Carl when I came back to Texas. He
Oh,
followed me on Instagram, yeah, and he just seen that I was dealing with all those people up there in Toronto, and he said, "Hey, you know what I mean? Like, you have this track. I just want to be on it, man. Let's go." And
nice.
he gave me a shot, man, and that's where that was born. The situation with Snoop, I met Snoop back in 2013, actually, at his 420 party in Hollywood Hills.
All right.
So I met the team there and all of that. So that's how that cultivated.
All right. Well, you know what? I've always said this about you. I mean, and even when I heard you on a slice of Canada
Yeah,
radio
man.
and stuff, you know, you're a true professional. And I did see that you had a billboard in Times Square, and I said, you know what? What fascinates about me, you to me, is your professionalism. And I said, definitely got to get you on here and kind of you know, spread your shine to kind of share with other creatives, you know, what it takes and how you're going about doing this. So I will have to say again, kudos. And on top of that, as a creative person, how did you make with the adjustments during the pandemic?
Wow. You know, I mean, social media made it very easy to do so because everybody's on there anyway. So even if you can't meet in person, there's always things like how we're doing Zoom. There's always Instagram Live, Facebook Live, TikTok, and then there was concerts happening virtually and interviews happening virtually. So all the news, press, media stuff that I was getting during the Palm Fire single happened through the web, basically on
Wow.
Instagram and everything. So it just made that transition. I made that transition. The industry made that transition. So I had to, make way for that, man. And I think it's changing how we do business overall.
Right.
To be honest, not even only in the music business, but in business in general. You feel me?
Sure, I agree with you. A lot of, and I'm gonna be very honest with it. A lot of my new family around the world has been because of the pandemic and having to utilize, the technology to kind of make, these connections. I would never even imagine getting to so many places by plane, but now I consider I have new friends all around the globe.
Facts, man. It's easy. It's much easier now to reach your fan base than it was in the earlier 2000s and the 90s. Back in those days, man, they were just doing it grassroots and just going to the record stores, meeting the fans. Now you could just have a live on Instagram and see your fan base and track it through Spotify and what have you, and all the analytics that we have on these apps like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, right?
Yeah, of
So it
course.
makes it much easier.
Of
Yeah,
course,
man.
of course. Well, that's great, great. I also wanted to give you a huge welcome to the Doc Entertainment family because now we're together. So I'm really excited to have you as an artist. And like I said, it's all about being a family. Like you said, one love, man. Very, very honored to have you, with the team, man. So we're really excited on this end. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it, man. For real. Wanda's cool, man. I met Wanda back. Actually, I didn't meet Wanda in person, but I met her online back
Yeah.
in 2020, bro, when I was living in Toronto.
Okay. Cool. All right. Good. Great. Great.
Yeah.
The next question, I'm gonna let you kind of think about it. For our audiences who are listening to you today, Um, everybody's curious, how can we connect with Matthew Johnson and support his upcoming projects and performances? So please enlighten and share.
Well, I've done heavy branding over the last 2 to 3 years, so I'm everywhere on the web at
Okay.
MatthewJMusic.com, at MatthewJMusic on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, SoundCloud. It's all at MatthewJMusic. And you can also Google me and everything comes down. Amazon, Spotify, Matthew Johnson, if it's not at MatthewJMusic
Okay.
on Amazon. So it's Matthew Johnson on Amazon, Rhapsody, um, Spotify, YouTube. I think I changed it also to at Matt UJ Music on YouTube as
Okay.
well. So I'm easily found, man.
Okay. Yeah, I had an associate. We were talking, and I kind of mentioned you, and I said, "Hey, yeah, I've been interviewing this phenomenal artist called Matthew Johnson." And within minutes, he was like, "Bing, bing, bing" on the internet. He said, "Oh, yeah, I got it right here. I see everything." I said, "Oh, great!" So I was like, "All right, cool. This is good." We're really excited about that. Now, I have two more questions, but the one is something I saw on the internet about this drink. I think that you have. Tell me about that drink. Is this something that you're endorsing, or what's up with that?
Is it Blackwater?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an alkaline water that's actually black because of the fulvic minerals. So
Okay.
it's very good for your body. It's very good for when you're weightlifting. It's very good for gut health.
Mhm.
It's purely alkaline, and it has no calories, no caffeine, no sugars, and it's actually no dye. No
Wow.
dye in there. It's all fulvic minerals.
Now, is that your energy drink that you're promoting, or how's that work?
They actually they sponsor me,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
they've been sponsoring me for the last year
Mhm.
or maybe year and a half now. They're from Calabasas, California. They actually started with people from the New Jersey Housewives, but
Okay.
they have evolved ever since. But they're out of Calabasas, California. And
Mhm.
see on the label, I don't know if you can see it, but it has 77 plus trace minerals in there. So this stuff
Oh,
is really good
nice.
for your body.
Okay.
Yeah, and they also have drops. Like you could put 15 drops in a regular water, and
Right.
and it turns exactly the same. This is the flavor. This is one of their flavors. It's called Dirty Lemonade. I don't know if you can see it
Okay,
with
I
the
see
normal.
it. Yeah, I do. I do. Well, definitely, we're going to get that info when we upload all this stuff onto the platform, and that's because I saw it on social media. I said I got to ask you that question, about it.
Yeah.
Got to pique my interest. I said I'm going to ask you when we in the interview. You know, um, Before we close out our show, I'd like for you to share an inspirational Matt U. Johnson quote so our fans can wrap their arms around it and reference it in their journey as well. So take your time and kind of ponder on it and then kind of just flow with it.
I don't even have to take my time. All I say all the time is anything is possible if you put your mind and your heart to it. You feel me? And you just have to stay determined in anything that you do. Stay consistent, stay determined, work hard. It might happen early, it might happen later, but as long as you keep working and you stay motivated, anything is possible.
Well, Matthew, thank you. That's very inspirational, and like I said, more important that it could be reference for any creative and folks who are not creative but just are looking for something to kind of pivot them in the right direction. And I just want to say, thank you for sharing that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm gonna be looking out for the upcoming release. Live it up. Remember, guys, live it up, and definitely gonna put that on blast. Definitely. I'm gonna get all your links, so when we do upload the interview, we have all your links and everything. So if folks, can find you and support you, and I can't wait to see you perform live because I'm huge on live performances.
Live performances? Yeah, bro. We're working actually on a promo tour.
Okay.
Me and my manager from Unrestrained Management, John, and even with Wanda, we're working on some dates for Toronto in the springtime to the summertime, and we're working very hard to put out this EP and this new single and everything that's gonna follow it. You know what I mean? It's gonna go from the EP to an album. You know what I mean?
Okay, well that's great. When you go to Toronto, I'll be heading up there to check it out because I know you're gonna bring your A game. Like I said, I've already seen what you've done, so I won't be surprised. Just want to be part of it and to experience the Matt U. Johnson, explosion. That's the way I say it.
Appreciate you, man. Let's do it.
All right, but I just want to say thank you, and yes, fam, follow this amazing artist. Some really good stuff, that Matt U. Johnson has for 2023, and you will enjoy it. It's refreshing, and it's something that like I said, we all need right now. So much love. Like I said again, one love, and again, keep following and supporting. And like I said, until our next episode, peace out.
We still gotta celebrate. Give thanks for the breaths we take. So keep on moving and do what you're doing.